open up models. Okay, so what I will do is I'm going to go get the tiny URL that we've been using. I want to be sure the videos are getting posted too. So let me just make sure that the videos are all accessible, because I've been spending some of the evenings uploading and curating videos for this. So okay, so I want to open up Chrome here. Where is my Chrome? Come on.
Are you using the sticks or?
Yeah, we could do it from the sticks, and we could also do it from the online system. Okay, either of those should work just fine. So we're going to go through a set of models which are in that example models area. Now, this is going to just take a look at the videos here, because I want to be sure that these things are getting posted properly. Yes, okay, good. So here are the videos from the past few days, and I'm trying to make sure that they are annotated with this boot camp, so they end up here. But I'm also going to try to make sure they can get labeled by content as well. So you can go to these videos, but I'm going to go to the material site in case anyone wants to download it. If you don't have your thumb drive here, you can go download it from the main site. I will show you how to do this, because there's a barrier people commonly encounter, and it varies a little bit on a okay, Winchell, there's a okay, there's an issue here, I think. Maybe is it possible I'm using the wrong address here? Materials here. Let's go try this again. Here we go. There we are. Okay, there we are. Go into participant resources, and there's an example models area. And we're going to be downloading a couple of these, okay? The first one, which is perhaps one that merits the least attention, would be this one here, which is ABM model with birth death, okay? Java 8. Okay, now within this, there's actually a number of specific ones. I'll click on the first one. And if I click on that, I will see something that is, to various people, unappealing, scary, interesting. But if you do that, what you really want to do, don't be distracted by this. This is secretly what AnyLogic files are stored as. They're text files. This is a format called XML, which is a way of characterizing structured data using text. And it's very widely used by databases these days. But you can do this download, and the download will actually download it to your machine, where you can then open it with AnyLogic using File, Open.
So what's the file name again? Is ABM model with birth
Java 8, yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's the one.
That's the most recent
Then you
version
have
of Java.
two. You have one is original, the other is without original.
Yeah, it'll be the first. Thank you. It's the first one, whichever is listed first. So, I think yeah, either one should be fine given the circumstance. Okay. So I'm gonna open this up, and I'm gonna fine. I'll go to my downloads and pretend I'm accessing it here. Okay. So ABM model birth death, ABM. Oh, okay. Oh, I downloaded to my Windows. Okay, fine. Right. My Windows downloads folder. Here we go. Boom. I'm going to open it up. Now, thank you, Winchell, for circulating. This model, I'm not going to spend long on this, but it highlights a couple features. one feature is if we go click on person, it indicates support for birth, okay? So we have a non-pregnant and a pregnant state, and progression from the non-pregnant to the pregnant state is limited to females, okay? So this guard, this is one way in AnyLogic that we can put in place a static rule that, okay, this transition should not be taken or should only be taken under certain circumstances. And this guard is basically saying only if someone's a female are they allowed from here to here. You want to be very cautious if you're using the guard with something that's changing over time. But for things that are static, like someone's sex, it can be used to enforce a condition, like pregnancy is only available to women, okay? And there's a pregnant state, and then some fixed amount of time of, I say, oh my gosh, what happened? Oh man, okay, it should be 0.75 years. I mean, wow. This has changed. Now, suppose I wanted to draw this from an empirical distribution, ladies and gentlemen, associated with pregnancy. An empirical distribution where I characterized pregnancy duration in days. How would I do that? Okay, yeah, I could do a timeout, and then I could draw from a custom distribution and use that for the timeout value. So, sometimes it would be 270, sometimes it would be 263, sometimes 275. I draw it from a custom distribution. And so instead of being 0.75 years, it could be drawn in days from a custom distribution. Okay? That would be one way to do it. The point is that when this occurs, a birth is performed. Now, this model needs a little bit of updating. It's a couple years old now, and we could do it much better actually using other features of Java 8. Okay, so within person, there's a thing called perform birth. And one useful factoid in AnyLogic is, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of the time, in my observation, it's not always. Winchell could probably comment on this. If you go and you look at, oh, by the way, should this have a semicolon? Perform birth? Yes, should have a semicolon. AnyLogic is a bit tolerant. If you don't put semicolons, it secretly puts them in. May I show you something secretly? Okay, can I show you something? Sure. Okay, don't tell people about this because I don't scare them going in. But if you want to see where this goes, if you have a Java buddy or someone who can help you with some of the technical sides, and you want to see what this becomes in the actual underlying code, if you're in a place where there's a bit of code, you press Control-J, probably a Mac it's Command-J or something, it'll actually go into an AnyLogic code. This is actually secretly what's behind AnyLogic, this Java code.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Now, you don't modify this. And I look at this maybe a few times a year. And it's not something I want to show you. But the point is, you do have recourse to how this information is used and what it actually turns into. And occasionally it's useful. For me, I need it. I benefit from it maybe in a serious way about once a year, something on that order. Anyway, the fact that I don't have a semicolon, AnyLogic actually put it in. It actually puts a semicolon by default just in case you forgot it. But be safe. Put it in yourself, okay? You're a grown-up and you can put it in there. Okay, perform birth. Now, if we go put our mouse over this, it may turn color. Now, Winchell probably has, Winchell, is your observation being also sometimes it underlines it and sometimes it doesn't? In my observation, sometimes it underlines this and lets you click on it. If you right-click on this, always works. Okay, good. That's good news.
Not in our version.
Okay, not in your version?
No.
Okay, PLE, maybe it doesn't.
That's probably the AnyLogic version.
Okay. In any case, for some versions you can do this. If you don't see it, ladies and gentlemen, you can go over here to the model, and you can find perform birth under person in the functions. There's a thing called perform birth. okay? Perform birth. And perform birth here will actually perform the steps of adding the baby in. So perform birth is a function. If we click on that function, we'll get to a place like this. Okay? So how did I do that? I went to person here, went to functions, and I chose perform birth, and I scrolled down to where it said function body, and I saw this text here. And basically we have a baby being born. This is just what we did yesterday. I don't know if you remember, but when we had people coming into the population for immigration, we did add underbar population, and then we specified, does anyone remember, what are these things? What are these information we're specifying? That's the values of the parameters. It's the values of the parameters. But here, we actually do more. We knit the baby into the mother's social network, and we place the baby to be close to the mom, visually, okay? So this is an example of a model where we have birth endogenously simulated. But more than that, ladies and gentlemen, in that perform birth, we actually add, at the last step here, we add this baby to the mother's children. So each mother keeps track of her children. And this is a collection. This is a collection of persons, okay? The children associated with the mother, they're located here on the left, just to the left of this area. And they're an array list of persons. So it's a collection of persons. And each time a baby is born, when we perform birth, at the very end, we add the baby to the mother's children. So the moms in here keep track of their kids. But not only that, if we actually look within person over on the left-hand side, we will find that each person keeps track of their ethnicity, their initial age. By the way, that's another way of doing this kind of aging, continuous aging with initial age. They keep track of their sex, and they keep track, ladies and gentlemen, of their mother. So if we wanted their mother to have persistent influence on them, say a mother smoking during their infancy and their childhood makes it more likely that they're smoking, or a mother's exhibited physical activity makes it more likely that they will be shaped by similar physical activity norms, or a mother's diet affects their diet. We can keep track of the mother. It's just another type of parameter. It's another parameter type. It's like the baby sex. We just specify who their mom is. And at the time they're born, as you might imagine, they're born to the mother. And so all it does is it tells the baby, hey, I am your mother. This is mother. Passes them information on who's their mother. That's the last of the parameters. Here we do add population. These are the parameters. And the last of them is their mother. So we tell them who their mother is. Okay? Is that okay? Okay. That's their mom. Okay. So this is a useful model. As a simple demonstration, it illustrates, there's a, okay, it's looking for a job, for a Excel file, okay, to write to Excel, mumble. You don't have that Excel file, so I'm not gonna, later today we're gonna look at how you output to files, how you output to Excel, how you output to text files, and we'll see how we can do that sort of thing. But basically, if you were to run the model, you'd see each mother has her children associated with her. Okay. I think I will go, just so that you can see it, I'm going to go to connectivity. Oh, this is a useful factoid. If you want to do this, go to main and go to connectivity. AnyLogic does offer quite a connectivity palette, including database connections for people who are using the professional. If you're not using professional, you can still do lots of database work. We do it a lot. By and large, we have not tended to use historically professional as our main one. We've done a lot with other versions of AnyLogic. But professional is useful. But if you want to do database work, not in professional, you can do easily. I'm glad to share code. It's just not quite as point and click. Okay, so in main, there's a thing called output from dataset effective. Notice how I'm doing things, ladies and gentlemen. I am, instead of going and trying to find this in main, searching around, I actually went over here to main and I just opened it up this way. It's very useful. May I show you another thing that you'll find useful? This is one of the most useful features of AnyLogic, along with undo. Edit, search, replace, and I could search for, say, output. And it will show me all things in this model that involve output. And I could quickly locate something and go to it that way. I could also get to it with Control F. Using find in AnyLogic is a fast way to locate things that otherwise will cause you to zip around for a while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go there and I'm going to show you another very useful feature of AnyLogic, particularly if you're in the midst of building up your model and you're caught needing to do something and this piece of the model is not yet done and therefore it's not allowing you to run the model. One good way is to use the previous version of the model, save early, save often as a new version. But another way is, ladies and gentlemen, for this guy here, you can tell it to ignore it. You could say ignore. And that will let you take a piece of something you've added to the model and tell AnyLogic, don't pay attention to it. It's not ready yet. Okay? So I'm going to say ignore this thing. And then that will allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to run this model. Hey, oh man. Okay, output. Oh man. Oh, okay. Sorry, there's one other thing I have to do. Okay, yeah, now it refers to it. Okay, if you try to run it, what happened? If you try to run it, try to build it. It's going to be unhappy, and it's going to tell you this cannot be resolved. Double click on that, and here's another super useful thing to know about AnyLogic. AnyLogic being in Java, you can comment out a line like that. Backslash will make the rest of the line ignored. Another way you can do it, ladies and gentlemen, is you can do it like this. Slash star and slash star at the end. Like that, a star slash at the end. These are also useful. This can go many lines. Slash slash only goes for that line. Either one of them will comment this line out. You notice it turned it green, right? Okay, now I can build the model and it'll be a happy camper. It said build completed successfully. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I can run the model. Run. Boom. Okay, so here we have these people. Let's go down and take a look at the individuals in this population. Here's a person in this population. Let's go scroll over. Okay, here's their characteristics, and we're going to run this forward. Okay, that person died before they had any kids. They must have been male. Okay, so here I'm going to run it, and okay, this person is still alive. Let me scroll through each person in the population. Person 1, person 2. Okay. Here's someone with a child. Person number 4. I ran it to the end. This person, unfortunately, this person's child has already died. Okay. I'll go through another one. This person had 0 children, 1 child. This person had a child. That child has also passed away. It had -1. I'm going through more here. Oh, another very useful feature of AnyLogic. By going down here, you can click on things and sometimes see information about them, sometimes even graph them out. Okay?
So Nate, when it's
yeah.
-1
Yeah.
instead of 0,
yeah.
that means that agent's passed away.
Passed away and removed from the model. Therefore, they don't have a location. Here's someone, for example, with a child that's number 467 in the model. So this is a useful thing to know. Child 467. This is person 25. And their child is person 467. And so if we did 467 here, now we're looking at their child. And in fact, this person does not yet have any children. They are connected to person 25 because that's their mother. And so we can go, using this information, like from children, we can find who their children are and go inspect them using the same mechanism, as long as they're still alive, right? If they're no longer alive, in this model, they are removed. Now, that doesn't have to be the case for all models. You don't have to absolutely get rid of the person from the model. It's often most convenient to do so. But occasionally you might add them to a population of, those who are passed away because you want to do some statistics on them later or something along those lines. Okay? So, anyway, is that helpful? Yeah. Okay. So this model is useful. Keep track of family structure. If you were to up the birth rate, occasionally you find larger families, etc. Okay, so that's a model with demographics, and it also illustrates saving things to files. And it also keeps track. This might be useful for some people. Keeps track of the last time someone was infected, and the last time they were exposed to infection, and keeps track of a record of all the times they've been infected over time. So their their history of infection over time. Okay, quite useful in that regard. So history information. Okay, that's one model I want to show you. Okay, that's ABM model with birth death.